Da-da-da-da. We're live. There we
Good
go.
evening.
Good evening. Evening, Martin. Evening, John.
Hello.
Hope you're both well. Martin, didn't it remind you of our youth, eh? Listen to all the fireworks going off in the distance. Yeah.
Mine like Dad Sticks.
Yeah. Who's that?
Mine.
Mine? Yeah. Dad Sticks are grand. Grand. Absolutely fantastic. You spent hours and days carving those. Absolutely wonderful. What's that, Willow? I know, mate. It's the fireworks banging out there.
It's not so keen.
You're right there, though, mate. You sit back there. I'll shut that up. You listen to Dad rabbiting. I'll keep you safe. No worries. Hey.
Evening, John.
Cage is open for him tonight, just in case he does get a bit panicky because we've got all the fireworks going off. Although, so far, he's been pretty good. He's had the odd sort of like, oh, what the hell was that? But we try not to show any reaction to it ourselves. And then
right, John, your parcel is being sent off tomorrow. I'll be giving you your data so you can track it.
Yeah, that will definitely be leaving us tomorrow, John. I do apologise for delays, but however, life's been a bit crazy this end, and we've had to get ourselves organised so that we could. Well, it's like budget to send it, you know.
Yeah.
You had said something to us like postage. Christ Almighty!
So you'd have to wait long when you have your brand sauce.
Brand sauce. I did think about training up a carrier pigeon, but I don't know that.
Big one.
Don't know they can last a flight across the Atlantic. Hi, Lee. How you doing, mate?
Lee.
Yeah. Lee's had a rough week, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear about you.
Yeah,
You're passing your dog, Lee.
Yeah, heart bleeds for you, mate. I know the pain there. And it is pain. You know, they're like family members at the end of the day. Right, so what we're drinking tonight? Kaz is on
Bucks Fizz.
Bucks Fizz. We had a bottle of Bucks Fizz, so she's on the posh chambers.
But it's in a Stella glass.
Stella pint glass to drink Bucks Fizz from. Sophistication.
Yeah. And we've got, Willow has now got a nice glow in the dark. Because of him being so hard to find.
Yeah, it is hard to find. Try walking him in the evening and that's it. You can't see him. He just blends into the ground. Camo dog. Oh, any requests from that Monster Surplus store? Mate, yeah, I tell you what, the only thing I'm looking for to complete the set, if they've got one, is a US poncho. Okay? That would be a handy one. Because that would complete the trifecta of kit. Trifecta, see? I'll be reading dictionaries
again. It's being very posh today.
Got a dictionary in the loo. Because you get to a certain age and things take a bit longer than they did before. Yeah. So I found putting a book in the loo was handy. And I thought, educate yourself, you idiot. So I've got a dictionary. And I'm up to C so far. I'm doing really, really well. Some of the words with more than one... what's the phrase? Not a vowel, not a consonant. How you break a word down? Oh, what is it?
Syllables?
Syllable. Yeah, words with more than two syllables in I struggle a little bit with. But as long as I keep it to less than two syllables, I'm doing okay.
And on the bushcrafty thing, I've got my bear skin.
Yeah, she's got a bear skin. Yeah, she's...
Syllables, yeah.
Yeah, syllables, yeah. As opposed to syllabubs, which is a rather interesting dessert made with
rum.
Ooh. Yes, do like a bit of rum. So what am I going to be drinking tonight? I'll tell you what I'm going to be drinking tonight. I'm actually on beer tonight. Again, 2 weeks running beer. Last week I was on the Desperados. Oh, bloody hell, did I have a head the following day?
I didn't.
Might have to go back to the cider. However, a good friend of mine dropped me off some Guinness because you remembered I used to like drinking Guinness. And I hadn't drunk it in probably 4 or 5 years. So he dropped me off some cans of Guinness. So I thought, well, waste not, want not. I'll be on Guinness tonight. So
as long as a little Fergal is in a way for it, because when Mick opened one the other day, he lost his head to Willow.
Yeah.
Willow rather likes it.
My dog likes Guinness. Yeah. As you can see, or here, you know, middle of a war zone here. McGuinness.
No, I can draw a pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
I can do the shamrock in it.
When Kaz ran the pub, it was one of her tricks was to be able to put a shamrock and a pint of Guinness in the head. It
took me 2 weeks to learn how to
perfect
pour one properly.
I could do a blob. Of course, now we've got the
It's all in the wrist movement, love.
We've got the problem with Guinness because you have to pour Guinness fairly slowly.
I like cider. I've always liked cider.
I actually prefer cider, but again, these were freebies, and I only drink on a Sunday night, and I only have the one. So I thought
I quite like the alcohol-free Koppenbergs.
Yeah,
for a change. Because on the Medicine one, I have to sort of be a bit careful with alcohol.
And again, alcohol's never been good for me. You can ask Martin. I've never been a heavy drinker. And for many, many years, I used to tell people I was teetotal. Purely and simply because it stopped them buying me drinks, especially when I was working on the nightclubs at the doors and pubs and things like that. And then went on to run as ops manager.
Evening, Jason.
Pubs and clubs. Which meant my Thursday, Friday, Saturday night were spent travelling around the various venues, just making sure the guys are okay, clients were happy and things. So literally everywhere you went into, do you want a pint, mate? And it, rather than try and if you tell people, oh, no, I'm okay, I'll just have a Coke. No, go on, have a beer, So I found the easiest thing to do was just turn around and look straight in the eye and go, I'm sorry, I'm teetotal. I don't consume alcohol. And nearly everybody I ever met at that point would automatically go, oh, okay, no problem. What would you like instead? Rather than try and push it on you. Because it's that old thing of, oh, yeah, go and have a pint. And like I say, I've never, ever been a heavy drinker. I've been hammered a couple of times and never actually really enjoyed it. Makes me dizzy, makes me very sick, makes me very, very grumpy the following day. So I've always kept it to a bare minimum. I did have a stint where I started drinking a bit too much, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I got a grip of that very, very quickly. It was starting to get hold of me. It was starting to get to the point where I wanted to drink, or I needed a drink regularly. And I mean, literally every day. And I, with the help of Kaz, recognised the problem and got a grip of it. And that led to that was a big old bottle of whiskey going out the window, wasn't it? It was a big old bottle of whiskey that I'd won as a prize. It was one of these giant bottles of very cheap, nasty whiskey. And that literally just got tipped out the window, tipped away. And at that point, I said, no more. Like the smoking in a way. So, yeah, 3 days in now. No cigarettes. Okay, no tobacco in the house. No cigarette papers. None at all. I am doing quite okay using these. I'm not flogging a brand or anything. They're not given to me. I have to buy them like anybody else. And I did my research. A lot of the tobacco-based pouches you put in your mouth, some of those you've got to be really careful with. However,
just like me last week,
these ones, Nordic Spirit, they're made in Norway and they are pretty much, I'm not going to say safe because nothing's safe, but the Norwegian rules to products that you can sell there are rigid, and these have to comply with a lot of their regulations and specs. I did. I used medication to get off of cigarettes before, and I stopped smoking for 10 years. And however, relapsed due to a situation. It was quite stressful, and fell into something that I regret, and I've actually regretted it ever since. But I will say, especially since my father's passed, I do enjoy a cigar. So the only time I'll actually smoke now is on a Sunday night. The game is to get myself eventually down to the point where I give up completely. But I do enjoy my cigar, and I do enjoy it on a Sunday. So it's my treat on a Sunday. I'd like to get to the point where one pack of 5 does me for 5 weeks. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be good. But little steps, baby steps. Anyhow, to you all, happy bonfire night. Yeah,
Oh,
uh,
really, yeah.
up the revolution and all the rest of it.
Rachel's in the room.
No problem, Michael. You'll both be on when you get home. No worries, my friend. Yeah. Never give up, giving up. Exactly that, Lee Michael. And I'm not saying I'm not going to relapse. I'm a human being. Cock up. One of the things I've learned over the years is don't pressure yourself. Don't back yourself into a corner.
Don't give yourself
Unrealistic
unattainable
goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, accept it. I'm a human being. We cock up. And if I cock up, admit I cocked up. And go back to scratch. That's all you can do. All you can do. Well done, Rachel. 4th of July 2018.
Well done.
Good on you, mate. Jason, excuse me, just checking delivery. Jason.
That's one in Wiltshire.
Just checking delivery. I have no idea. No idea.
No, he's got someone come to the door, like.
Oh, right. Oh, so, I thought he was asking me a question. I'm sorry. Hey? Daft as a brush,
Yes, we'll
mate.
go to do some beach fishing with you, Martin.
Yes.
Like the idea of that.
Mm.
But don't you two beat me up because I've catch all the fish, because you know that us women with the pheromones, we catch more fish than you men. Just saying, just put it out there.
Yes, Kaz has been known to upset anglers on lakes. One of the lakes I used to fish at, I actually had the bailiff come over because
It would have chucked me off the lake.
Yeah, other anglers had complained that this little woman sat in the corner. She must be using illegal baits because she's catching more than we are. It's a well-known fact. Women, pheromones, fish like pheromones. Women catch more fish than men. In fact, the actual, I believe, the record salmon caught in Britain was by a woman. So, it's one of those things. And what's it matter to me? She was having a good day. I was enjoying myself. We had a great day fishing.
It's like the lady on the side of the bank. It's like having a lady on board ship. It's like, no, get a string.
No, it's a stupid panic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some blokes just can't stand to be, I wouldn't say beaten, because let's face it, fishing is part luck anyhow. If you've picked the right spot on the lake,
you got the right
swim, you got the right bait, you figured the right distance and the right depth you're in. Yeah, with autism it doesn't help. This, my lad Dan, we didn't know he was autistic, ADHD. Can't remember which now. He's on the spectrum anyhow. There's a nipper I took him fishing, and we went to a lake. And I got him his own little fishing rod and all the gear, and got Chris one as well. We went to the lake, and I set them up, and then I set myself up, and I thought they're going to love this. Within about 30 minutes, Dan had enough, and his rod went in like a javelin. Just went off and had a mooch round and a play on his own, made his own games.
Yeah, that's ADHD and autism quite often go together, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so that's the end of Dan's fishing.
Why would it be offensive?
Because
there's two females in the room.
What's
Jason says he's got a trick about fishing, but it may be offensive.
Well, what I shall say
because we've got other. It's not just us in the room, is it? Yeah.
What I will say is, guys, what we got to remember on the chats and the thing, just to be careful. Obviously, remember this goes out live. People watch it on catch up, may have their kids there and that. And I know it's a relaxed, let your hair down night. And sometimes our talks and our natters do get adult, right, Jason, but we try and keep it to a fun, sensible, non-offensive level. There's, at the end of the day, I don't wish to offend anybody, and if I do, well, I'm sorry, Buttercup. I'd apologise there and then. We have to come forward with the world. Ian's in the room. Evening, Ian. How you doing, mate? Hope you're all good. Hope everything's good with you.
Bit soggy down there.
Yeah.
Your mum was a bit soggy on the island.
Yes, Ian. How did you get on with the storm? Oh, no flooding, I hope. You getting great, Jason? You getting treatment for your issues? Excellent. It's we all need help. Anyhow, so where are you in the world? What's the weather doing? How's your week been like? What you got to look forward to? Let me know. Guy Fawkes night here. Oh, Guy Fawkes. Poor old Guy Fawkes, eh? What a shame. So, for those of you that don't know, maybe watching this later on or from somewhere else in the world, Guy Fawkes is a celebration held on the 5th of November every year in the UK. And the origins of it was basically simple. 1604, the king is a Protestant. There's a lot of Catholics in the country, and the population is fairly split. And a chap and his buddies named Guy Fawkes, who was Catholic, had enough of the oppression. So they rented a storage room under the Houses of Parliament, which I don't think is any longer available, stashed 36 barrels of gunpowder down there. And on the opening of Parliament, which is always opened by the King or the Queen, they planned to blow the bloody lot up. And, yeah, get rid of them. Unfortunately, they were caught. Poor old Guy Fawkes was kept his mouth shut for 3 days, suffered 3 days of torture, and eventually couldn't take it anymore, and he let people know who his co-conspirators were. Basically, they were sentenced to be hung, drawn, and quartered. So basically, hung, not until dead. So it's a slow hanging until you start to lose consciousness. Then you're taken down, revived. Then you are dragged behind a usually a wagon, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
And dray horses through the town by your ankles, and then quartered. Now, this is a bit that a lot of people quite often get the drawn and quartered bit muddled up. They're drawn by horses. Okay, when they say drawn by horses, they do mean just dragged along by horses. Quartering was 2 types of quartering in the UK. One was to take a corpse down, just chop it into 4, send one off north, east, west, and south, each of the parts, and then hang them on gates as a threat to other people or a warning. Or in his case, it was to be quartered, which means your ankles and your feet, or your wrists and your ankles, are tied to horses, and you are quartered. Okay, rather gruesome, rather horrible. Usually to make as big a spectacle of it as you can, create as much screaming and suffering as possible, and put anybody off being bad in future. And King James at that point decided what we will do from this point on, we will celebrate the Protestant defeat of the bad Catholics by celebrating Bonfire Night. And he put an order out saying fires will be lit on this night to celebrate the saving of the King and Parliament. And it's carried on. Over time, we at the time, they didn't put an effigy of Guy on there. It would be things like the Pope and stuff like that. You know, it was a proper sort of anti-Catholic thing going on, encouraged by the King.
But with Sadiq Khan one, didn't they?
But with time, it turned to putting Guy on the fire, or having a Guy on the fire, representation of Guy Fawkes, and burning him. And from about the 1800s, that was, and it's pretty much carried on since. That's the origin of Guy Fawkes Night. Obviously, with the advent of fireworks, the availability of fireworks, they came into it as well, always with the excuse, well, you know, it's a bit of a reminder of what they were intended to do, gunpowder explosives and all that. And unfortunately, it gets a bit carried away these days. When I was a lad, the fireworks weren't as powerful, they weren't as quite devastating, sort of almost an explosive device in their own right. And people try and outdo one another. But we used to, it was more about a family get together. It was a meal. We'd have feast. All the neighbours would come round. Somebody would have the bonfire in their garden. Everybody would donate stuff to it. And it was a chance to have a bit of a get together, really. These days it's going to more, well, it was swinging more to community fires, i.e. the local councils and authorities having organised bonfires, because you can make a few quid out of that, charge people to come in. And trying to discourage the ones that were held in the back gardens because it's not safe. But just lately, it seems to be a lot of the councils are saying we can't make money out of it, we're cancelling it, we're not doing it. We'll see where it all ends up. Is it going to be one of those traditions that just fades into the distance and disappears with time? Or is it going to be one that goes back to being a family thing or a neighbours
Evening
getting
Sticks.
together. Evening Sticks, how you doing, mate?
Just got straw stick.
Yeah, very likely, like William Wallace Lee. Yeah.
So Wrexham's lost to TBS Grizzly. No dangler.
Yeah, Rachel falling into water, especially in a quarry, deep cold water.
Hi, Stephen.
Not a good one. You're lucky to get out, my love. Yeah, I'm going to be covering that next year. I've got somebody coming in. We're going to be doing. He's actually a water safety specialist, so we're going to be going over some rescue techniques and systems for handling water, whether it's fast moving water in a flood situation or going into water unintentionally. And as an ex-amphibious engineer, that was part of my skills and trades. So we worked on amphibious equipment, obviously, and getting into water was something we would do on a regular basis and had to learn to survive, especially dealing with things like cold water shock, which you can protect yourself from. There's a technique to it, but it takes a little bit of mindset practice to make it become a natural thing to do. Evening, SK. How you doing, Stephen? Evening, mate. How you doing?
Yeah. Well, quarries, nah.
Yeah, quarries.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Sticks.
Yeah, deep black and very cold. Not a good thing at all. Not a good thing at all.
I don't know where it is at the moment.
Wild Camping Sparford. Evening, my friend. How are you?
Good evening, Wild Camping.
Yeah, so
Howdy.
Special K,
SK, Special K, yeah.
Okay, we got that in future. Special K. Special for short. Oh, yeah. So we're going to cover that. That will be one I would like to do in the spring, actually, before it warms up. And that the video will be paralleling alongside that will be hypothermia. Yeah, so you can guess how this is going to work. Somebody, probably Billy Muggins here, because this is his idea, is going to expose himself to various types of water and go through the recovery process. And we are planning to take me into hypothermia. I will have a medical specialist on board at the time. We'll have all the safety equipment there. And I'll have guys around me that understand the situation. I'll train to deal with it. Therefore, I can put myself through the 3 phases of hypothermia for everyone to learn from. It's not showing off. I'm not looking forward to it. Actually, I'm quite nervous about it. But I have been to the brink of hypothermia myself in the past, and I know how it can affect people. So if we can make a video that can demonstrate it, show the dangers and the risks,
I know, Ian.
and how to recover from it, and how to help a mate recover from it, we might be able to save a life somewhere along the line.
You did swim across Poole Harbour in February.
Yeah, I did swim Poole Harbour in February in full kit.
That's a good idea. John said you should add in a fire making video at the end of it when you get out of the water.
Yeah.
Yes, no explosion. Cloverleaf.
Yeah, there's a difference between exposure and exposing oneself. Unless you're exposing oneself to exposure. Even dirty faces. Yeah. So we intend to do that. I'm gonna have a chat to Martin as well. Might do some in the summer, might do some overboard drills, because I know he might know somebody who has access to a boat. So again, overboard drills, recovering somebody from water. It's all good tips, tricks, and ideas. It's all knowledge that is very, very worth having. You certainly do, John. Those fine motor skills go out the window very, very quickly. Also, the ability to rationalise starts to disappear.
Just in some armies, they drop them they make a hole in the ice, drop them into water, and they have to remember their
Arctic warfare training.
Their numbers.
Yeah, Arctic warfare training in Norway. Yeah, so that's done up there. And again, it's to give people confidence, really, more than anything. if you expose yourself to a situation, you develop the confidence to deal with that situation if it arises again. And so you're basically instilling people it's to help keep that willpower going. First tool of survival in any situation is the willpower, the want to survive. If you've got information in your brain, you've got a bit of experience of the situation, that gives you the ability to go, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to get through this, and then start to rationalize the problem, sort out the problem, take the appropriate action to pull yourself through it. If you suddenly go into a situation or something happens to you and it's something you're not experienced in, you have no knowledge of, you have no background in it, it's very, very easy to lose the will to want to push on. The second you think to yourself, I'm effed, or I'm done, you are.
That's what Rachel was saying, shock and disorientation. You go into black water and that is so cold.
Black water, yeah. If you jump into water that's that dark, you lose light. It's a terrifying thing. Absolutely terrifying. Yeah. John, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
That really does sound interesting. When I get over to the States, me and you might have to come over and have a chat. Might have to organise going and having a chat to one of your organisations out there, or maybe even book a course for the same period. Go and do a couple of days somewhere. Be very interested. We don't get much of that sort of thing in the UK, and I'm always very, very interested in learning from other people, seeing their techniques, their methods. And then it means I can share the information I've gleaned from that onwards. In actual fact, 7th, so Tuesday.
Tomorrow. No, Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. Tuesday night, I'm out sharing knowledge again. I'm off with another scout group on Tuesday night, giving them a chat and
Evening, Jason.
Evening, Jace. Just for the Mitchell.
You found your keys.
You found your keys. Awesome. Fantastic. How did Mitchell go, Jace? Everybody okay down there? Everybody get away all right? Didn't get stuck having to pull people out or anything? No issues, no dramas? I hope everything was good. Now, Jason, Hampshire Outdoors Kitchen, and some of the other guys from my response group, 4x4 response group, they've been helping out tonight at a local bonfire. So they've been, I don't think they do it as part of the response group. I think they just do it as friends because they've got the kit and the knowledge, but they've gone along and basically act as marshals and also help to pull vehicles off of muddy fields if people get stuck.
You found your keys, so it wasn't our granddaughter that hid it, unlike her dad's motorcycle keys.
Cold and dark, yeah.
Oh dear, you nearly had to sit on someone's bonnet.
Well, Jace, that takes us back to the bike club days, doesn't it? Don't flap, don't control your breathing, and clench. The instinctive thing to do when you go into cold water is cold water shock. It's an instinctive thing for your body to do is to try and grab air even when you're underwater. It causes an involuntary spasm that makes you go, and that one lungful of water, that's you absolutely hammered. It's very difficult to come back from that. So at the point of knowing you're going into water, you clench down. You literally, even if you don't get time to take a breath, you clench. You literally clamp your jaws and your nose shut. You practice that. The sort of anti-spasm procedure is what they would call it. Is to stop you from going. It takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of time, but once you've got it, you've got it. And again, that will save you. One of the things we're always afraid about when we enter water is going down. Invariably, we go down and we actually surface fairly quickly. Although at the time, when you're experiencing it, it can seem like 20, 30 minutes. You're fighting to get to the surface for air. But yeah, and then what you do once you get to the surface, you take control of your body. And the first thing to stop your body doing then is you've got to relax. You've got to not allow your body to go straight into shock. You've got to try and keep things moving and keep fluid, just as Lee was saying there. Keep yourself fluid, try and float, assess your situation and look at where you're getting out. Don't go straight into trying to swim for shore, because you might be swimming towards a way that you can't get out. Yeah, I know, Willow. I agree 100%, mate. You may be swimming towards somewhere where you can't get out or you won't get rescued. Whereas if you stop for a second, give yourself a second, assess it, you might have to swim to the opposite bank, You might have to go out of the way. You might even have to call for help. You're really joining in tonight, aren't you? You're right there. You're getting a bit warm. Yeah, I'll put the. I'll talk. I'm going to do it. Fireworks are quieting down. I'm just going to open the window because little chap's getting a bit warm.
He's not locked in his cage. His cage door is open because he doesn't. He's not particularly keen on the old fireworks, are you, mate?
Let's open that up. Cool it down a bit in here. There we go. There we go, little chap. There we go. It's handy having the screen set up there. At least I can look back and see him behind me.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, belching. That was very rude of me. So yeah, Guy Fawkes bonfire night. Yeah. Yeah, where we going with that? We got it. I tell you, yeah, blankets and ponchos I was watching today and looking into something I have tried in the past. Might do an overnight with just a blanket and a poncho.
You got a Russian blanket, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm very interested in old systems techniques, and one of the systems I mentioned is actually using capes, things like that. How did our ancestors do it? You know, whether it was Highland gear, or it was Lowland gear, whether it was European gear, but the cape has always been something that was a system for keeping warm and dry. It also gave you something that could then become a blanket. So, yeah, well, looking into that at the moment, might do a little bit on that. And obviously, I did big chat today about sticks. And I'm sorry, the video that I went up the woods and did, I was, you know, you do something and you walk away from it going, I'm happy with that. That's going to be a good one. Yeah. So.
It wasn't a happy bunny that walked through the door when he found out that.
No, yeah, well, that was 2 days of trying to get it uploaded, and in the end, I just had to give up this morning. It wasn't going to work. Yeah, and work to that. So, Jason, waterproofing your materials, is that using a PVA or a silicone wash? Because I've done that myself in the past with some cotton sheeting, where you dissolve the silicone into hot water, and then you wash the cotton sheeting in that hot water, and then hang it to dry. And what it does is the water evaporates, it impregnates the cotton with silicone, waterproofing it. That works very, very well. Or you could do a hot wax and paraffin wash, which is another old technique, which was you took your linen or your cotton metal bucket and you put paraffin into it, and you warm the paraffin enough to melt the candle wax into it or the beeswax into it, and then you literally wash that into the linen that way. Only problem is, for the first few times, it's highly flammable. It's something that has to be hung out for weeks afterwards to allow the paraffin to eventually work its way out. Silicon and spirits. Use silicon and spirits. Right, if you use the silicon, it's hot water, and literally take the silicon from the tube, okay, when it's fresh, you can do it then. So it works very, very well. And of course, the bonus of using a natural fabric over nylons and that is they've got a level of flame retardance or resistance compared to something like nylon, which the slightest ember hits a bit of nylon. Excuse me, it's a bit of nylon and it's gone. What, mate? Will come out?
Is this in your wallet, Matt?
What?
Hello.
To a drink?
Hello, come.
No, a drink. No. No.
You've just been a twit.
You've just been a twit, aren't you? Okay. Okay.
Thanks, Steve. And yeah, my dad passed, was it 19 years now?
Yeah.
And I've got some other bits of his good carving, but good skill.
Yeah, terps and silicon. It's many methods to doing it. The only problem with obviously terps, spirits, and things like that, and thing to be aware of, is just being careful afterwards. Don't go to test the flammability level of your material too quickly.
Yeah.
Boiled linseed. Yeah. Yeah. I used to use. I've got some up there actually. well, Danish oil, okay, which is basically, again, I used to use a lot of that in leather. Yeah, that works well on man-made materials. Oh yeah,
What is your malfunction?
yeah. But again, it's
Play the guitar. Look.
it's how our ancestors did it. It's. I mean, even at the end of the day, taking a piece of cotton and working beeswax into it. I mean, beeswax in the form of, oh, I've got some here. I don't know where. I've got some beeswax here, and that's mixed with just a little bit of linseed oil, and that just softens it enough. But you can then work that into the material. Yeah. Yeah, worth of ghost sticks. I'm interested to see that. And of course, it's terps. That's an old term, isn't it? Terps, the old paintbrush cleaner and that. Yeah, see, I don't know about around the rest of the world, but I think that could be quite confusing with people. You know, I bet somebody somewhere get back to you and say, I tried it. I got the linseed oils and turnips. It didn't waterproof too well. Yeah. Come on, mate. You're joining in, aren't you? Hey, you joining in? Okay.
We'll put them up.
Yeah. There we go.
There you see it now. Look at it. Yeah. You see his little face.
Yeah, you joining in. You just want to cut away. Is that what it's about? Okay. Don't like them old foreign works, do you? Yeah, I know. Don't blame me, mate. They're all a bit much, aren't they? Yeah. Sticks outdoors, Jason. That's the man to look for. He's the guy to look for there.
Yeah, I see you got 20 subscribers now.
Yeah, congrats. It's all moving forward.
Yeah.
And of course, we've got, I wonder how Benny's done this week. I've seen a couple of his bits and pieces.
He did a bonfire night last night.
Excellent. Yeah. So, you want to go on?
Come on, Fluff Bum.
Go see your mum. Go cuddle your mum. Right. Yeah, so where are we going on that one? Yeah. So, and in preparation for something I'm planning next year, I've been doing a bit of study into European wildlife and European wildlife threats. So in so doing, I was looking at the big three in Europe. So one of the things I found there, which I found quite interesting, was the wolves. Now, many years I've been told wolves aren't a problem. No, very rarely attack. Got to be hungry. You've got to be weak. You've got to be in a bad way. I came across initially just a small story on YouTube, which I was like, nah, don't know about that. Never heard of it. And it was about a mega wolf pack during the First World War. That actually ended up with the Russians and the Germans combining. They had a truce, combined sides to wipe these wolves out. Because this mega wolf pack had started initially attacking
Lithuania?
Yeah, Lithuania, attacking local villages. Started off taking a few children here and there, got braver, started taking adults, and then started taking the soldiers and attacking groups of soldiers. And at one time, they believed this mega wolf pack was up to 400 members. Okay, so yeah, and then when I sort of started researching it more and more, bloody hell, you know. Yeah, it was
infrared film, and you see all these wolves in this forest.
And they were saying, you know, there's been studies done into these mega packs because they have occurred since, but in areas where they weren't such a threat to people. Apparently, still get it occasionally in Siberia and places like that. And it's mainly when the food sources are running really, really short. And so to combat prey that they would normally be more concerned with, like human beings and that, the packs will become larger. They will combine and basically give themselves more power, more strength, I suppose, and without wanting to sound uncomfortable about it, wolves will eat wolves. You know, the weak will fall by the wayside.
Next, was saying that during the First World War, that because of the guns and the explosions, all the deer and wild boar
anything that was alive left the forest.
So they had to,
So creating these mega wolf packs. So that was quite an interesting one. It's worth. I'm not going to waffle on about it here, but if you wanted to go onto YouTube and just have a look at mega wolf packs, First World War, quite an interesting story. That quite interesting how people will put aside their hatred of one another and combine to defeat a common enemy.
They've released beavers back, and England did have wolves originally, didn't we?
There is talk of them wanting to reintroduce wolves into Scotland, but I don't think they'll ever get to do it as a free ranging thing. I think they will be set up into a reserve area. It'll probably be something that'll be fenced and monitored. We're never going to. In the UK, the population, listen, majority of the population has no interest in conservation, wildlife, and that, and they're the voters. They're the ones that people are going to go with. So that these sort of things are great ideas, great wishes and wants, but they're not going to occur. And again, reintroduction of species now, it has,
Evening, Mac.
It doesn't always work. It's every time you try to reintroduce something, you're going to offset something else. Nature finds a balance. So as we've lost species over the centuries, the other species have adapted and come forth and gained strength. Certain plant species have died out because they don't have the insects or whatever we've got rid of there to pollinate and so on and so on. So they lose pace, but something always replaces it. And it's one of my big arguments with conservationists. And I've had to do a lot of work running MOD training areas over the years with conservation groups. And a regular argument I used to get into with them was, why are you trying to defeat Mother Nature? If they would come to me and go, oh, because of the global change, we're losing the heathland, we got to protect it. Well, if nature is changing because of a cycle, then allow the heathland to change, because that's how things evolve and adapt. For millions of years, nature has adapted to the environment and the situation. This isn't the hottest it's ever been here. It's not the coldest either. It's not the wettest. These situations have occurred in the past, probably a lot slower than we've helped to assist now. But again, it is a cycle. So nature adapts. It moves forwards and backs with it. It did it in the ice ages. It did it in the Pleistocene. There were periods of time on this planet where we wouldn't have survived because there wasn't the right oxygen content in the atmosphere for us. So nature adapts and survives. And it's people they tend to have these airy-fairy images of what they think the country should look like. And then they will fight tooth and nail to try and keep that image alive. And it's not the truth. Let nature just run its own course. Again, an argument I have with a man who was a top MOD scientist in amphibians. He was literally the UK's top expert on this one particular toad. And he turned up one day and noticed I had a picture of one of these toads on the wall. And he said to me, where did you get that from? I said, oh, I took the picture. Where did you take that? I've never seen one of these live. And I said, well, out there. No, they didn't take it out there. They don't live in that environment. It's too much grass, too many bushes there. They don't live there. I said, well, it's funny that, because I said, you come out here on a summer's evening, you can hear thousands of them in there. No, you're mistaken. I said, well, pictures there. That was one of many hundreds that are out there. No, it's an impossibility. They're that endangered. You won't ever find that many together.
What a load of
well, about 3 months later, I managed to arrange for him to come down on a summer's evening, and I absolutely blew his little mind, because everything he'd ever learnt and studied in university or learnt about this one particular species was suddenly just ignited, went up in smoke. I sort of looked at him. I remember sitting there going, well, don't feel too bad about it. I mean, you are the MOD's top man, It's funny, really, isn't it? You're the top man, the expert with all the knowledge, and I actually knew more than you did. Didn't take very kindly to that at all. It didn't like me. Over Salisbury Plain. Will you be careful across Salisbury Plain, mate? Yeah, bears as well. Hey, Mac. Hope you're good, mate.
You go right back where Sabretooth.
Yeah,
As well.
yeah. Ooh, bit of venison. Nothing wrong with a bit of venison. Do like a bit of venison. Yeah, quite often, John. Science and the theory. It's amazing what you can learn on paper, but you've got to have the practical to go with it.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah. Good on you, Jace. Percy Pickles, how are you, mate?
Good evening, Percy.
All the way from the Philippines. What's the weather like out there, mate?
Bit downright dry than it is over here.
Yeah. Hope you're feeling good. Hope things are going well with you. Yeah, so, yeah, I've lost my track a little bit. We were talking about animals, weren't we? Conservation.
Yes, don't move it.
It's
too hot.
No, he's all right. He's all right down there, though, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so winter gear. Oh, yeah. Blimey, I had a look at the price of a set of thermals, merino wool thermals. Yeah. I dropped my jaw a little bit.
I think you said drop your jaws in.
Yeah, well, almost blew my pants off. I think it's going to be a pair of the old cheap and cheerful woolly thermals this year. I don't think I'm going to go with that. A bit expensive. Not for what I'm doing these days. Don't really need it.
Yeah, I carry. I've got a wool tartan blanket in the car.
God blimey, Percy. Very hot, not well.
Oh, dear.
Chest infection, double pneumonia, more meds than I've ever seen. Bloody hell. Blimey. You're going through the wars, aren't you? You had a rough old couple of months. The only thing I can say to you, mate, is rest, fluids, take the meds, take it easy. Rest is your key. And try not to exert yourself. Let your body fight it. It's the only thing you can do there. Stealth camp opposite Larkhill. You be careful stealth camping across from Larkhill and places like that. It can be very, very dangerous. I've known a couple of people who have some near misses down there over the years, almost run over and clouted by military vehicles during exercises. The Challenger 3 can creep up on you fairly quickly and fairly quietly. So you've got to watch yourself a little bit there. The other thing, of course, as well, if you're going to be stealth camping near military training areas, just watch you don't get picked up as a spy. Yeah, that's been known to happen in the past. So you just be careful.
Yeah, that would be interesting, Martin.
Yes, that would be interesting. Yes, you want to come along on an overnight, Martin? Will more than happily have you along. Oh, sinusitis on top of pneumonia. There's a combination. All your mucous membranes, mate. Okay. Oh, dear me.
A spot in a wooded area. How many wooded areas are there on Salisbury Plain? Millions.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, you're getting some of the little forestry blocks and that. Quite nice places to be.
Especially if you find the toilets.
Yes.
There's some very nice.
Always handy.
Yeah, when you're thrown in and finding a toilet there.
Always handy to have a TARDIS nearby.
That was a proper wooden one.
Oh, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite nice to find. Bit of luxury out there.
So you feel a bit like Slimer from Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Yeah. They will love it. I picked up, and they're well worth looking into if you can find them. I think Surplus and Lost. I had them at one point.
So,
Hang on, mate. Move your paws whilst I get up. Picked up one of these.
it's a new Russian.
And that one
Where
there.
are the black stripes?
Yes, is a Russian felt blanket. Okay, so it's made of wool. It's 100% wool, but it's felted, so it's not.
Hello.
It's not a knitted blanket. It's actually a felted blanket, and these are superb. Love it. It really is a nice, thick, warm blanket. You can pick them up through the army surplus shops quite affordably. They're very, 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 very durable. Makes a brilliant thermal layer. So again, my tip there is have a look round, so you find they are absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, Percy, I'm going to be popping over to the farm probably this week, so I'll pop in, have a check on everybody there, make sure they're okay for you. Just make sure all is good, especially after the storm we've just had. So I'll have a pop in there, and I'll let you know next Sunday whether everything's okay or not. I'll check the fences, have a look over.
They got Vicks Vapor stuff out in the Philippines, so
don't know. I suspect they've got their own alternatives. They've got things like Dragon Balm and that.
Yeah.
Tiger Balm. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's pink or white. A good wool blanket's a good wool blanket. Yeah, Dark Crazy Wool, John, they're absolutely stunning blanket. And they're tough. One of the things I was a bit concerned with when I ordered it, I thought, well, what conditions it's going to be in? Because Russian surplus sometimes is just hammered. It's been handed from recruit to recruit to recruit, and by the time it goes into the surplus train, quite often it's absolutely annihilated. But these come through in A1 condition, absolutely superb.
Yeah, special grade. If you're on the way on that, Vicks on the bottom of your feet.
Will do, Percy. Will do.
I can't remember. There's a reason for putting soap in a sock.
So you can hit people with it?
No, on your foot. There is a reason why you put...
Prison club.
Yeah. You're such a twat.
Yeah. I once had it explained to me, oh yeah, the reason they put soap in a sock and beat with a prison is it doesn't leave a mark. No. I think it's because it's about the only way in a prison cell you can easily make a club. Doesn't leave a mark. I tell you what, it's somebody with a bar of soap inside a sock. It's going to leave a bloody mark. Yeah, wool blankets. Any sort of wool. Any wool clothing. The video I did this week was an old green military woolly pulley. That's what I was wearing because it was a bit damp out there and a bit chilly. So I had that. And I basically stuck that over a shirt because the old British woolly pulley could be a bit itchy, so basically a collar up over it. And
that was like my D tartan blanket I got. I bought it off Facebook Marketplace. That was a proper tweed shop one.
Yeah.
And only paid £5 for that.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah, skins, anything natural, really, isn't it? Anything natural is the way to go. Any natural fibres have always got the edge over man-made fibres. Always got the way. I mean, you've only, as we said the other week, you only got to look back at tweed. How long tweed has been used, and it's been, people have charged the earth for it. Or the tailors have charged the earth for it. I don't think the tweed makers or the guys that actually weave tweed, things like Harris and that, actually make that much out of it. But that material is always been a favoured of the hunting community, especially at the high end. because it works. I mean, let's face it, if you're a multi-millionaire and you're going on a shoot regularly, you're not going to buy a cheap old plastic Raymac from Tesco's for $5.99, are you? You're going to go and buy something that works. Wool, the thing is, you don't have to worry about wool drying. People always say to me, oh, wool takes too long to dry. But the thing is, wool is thermally efficient even when it's wet. So unlike a man-made material, once you're wet in a man-made material, you're losing heat.
Yeah.
If you're wearing wool and you're wet, you'll retain heat. And in some cases, actually better. So one of the bonuses with the wool, especially things like wool socks and that, always was my attitude was, yeah, my feet are wet, but at least they're bloody warm. And given the choice of wet and warm or wet and cold, I'll always take wet and warm. Yeah, donkey jackets. Now, there's the thing. Right. I remember having one of those as a kid. That was a solid bit of gear with the old black plastic section across the shoulders and over the top of the shoulders. That was a bloody solid piece of clothing.
It would do you one.
Hey?
You can get back in again.
Yeah.
She's just nibbling the floor now.
You're nibbling?
Yeah, cool down.
You're nibbling? Is your cooling floor? Is your little funny thing? Yeah. It just gets me chatting to the dog. He's sitting down there looking up at me like that. He's going, really, Dad? Really? Really? What you got? What you got? You got anything for me?
He's nicking my bloody fur.
Curling up on your fur there. Yeah, so man-made fibres always, if so, man-made fibres, natural fibres, man-made fibres, brilliant in hot conditions, and some of the modern shirts that will wick away the moisture from your body, absolutely brilliant. You stick one of these under a merino wool layer, absolutely fantastic, or even under a woolly bully, fantastic. Yeah, it just allows that moisture, that body moisture, the sweat, and that to wick away from you, and to retain a bit of heat, get it into the wool, and then from the wool it can evaporate out.
I'll have to look up where I found Mike's one, because it wasn't that expensive. It was about £8, wasn't it?
Yeah, about £8 quid.
£8 quid for that Russian one. I'll send you a link down. See if you can get yourself one.
Yeah, that can be one of the problems, isn't it? It's finding gear to suit and to fit, and not just to fit, but to be a comfortable fit. Okay, I mean, I'm getting a bit portly around the belly. A couple of my comfy shirts are starting to show, and I get a little bit self-conscious, a little bit embarrassed actually occasionally when I watch some of the videos back. I'm like, oh my god, look at the state of you.
Special code, yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, it's hard to find.
Yeah,
decent size ladies waterproof stuff.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
Don't chew that cable.
But again, if you know, it's like there, you just shared that with us. That's something we'll have a look into then. You know, Dutch police jackets, because again, it's out there. Share this knowledge, share these ideas. Right. I'm waffling at the minute. Right, joke time. Come on in. So who's going to fire up the first joke of the evening then? I want no repetitions from last week and keep it reasonably clean. But who's got a funny for us? No,
it's not very protective.
There's always this attitude that
I find that when on my large mobility scooter, I've got a Gore-Tex poncho because that keeps me warm and dry, and I don't care, it's green, so what? I don't want to have ones with diamantes and big fur collars.
So but that's it, isn't it? It's the same thing with the blacksmith, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For female blacksmiths, right? There are a lot of women that want to blacksmith, or they want to weld, or they want to do mechanical gear. Okay, there's nothing made in protective equipment for them. It's all designed for men. And same thing with a lot of the outdoor gear. You look at hunting gear and that. Trying to find outdoor gear for women is a nightmare. And they really do have my sympathy. And I think a lot of these companies are really missing one, because they'll either do high-end hiking gear But you don't want the high-end hiking gear. What you want is a good pair of fishing trousers or outdoor trousers or a good pair of shooting trousers. But it seems to be this, especially in the UK supplies, this mentality that, oh, women don't do that. Well, women do. Women do enjoy going outside.
It's no point. There are men. You can go to the men's clothes, but women have boobage.
Yeah.
So we're a different shape. So jackets are made different.
Yep. And let's face it, at the end of the day, if I'm in a survival fish, and I'm not being, please don't take this sexist or please don't take this the wrong way, but if I'm in a survival situation, I want larger people with me. Okay? And the reason being, it's quite simple. One, they got that little bit extra to keep them going. Okay? They're not going to suffer with the cold quite so quickly. Okay? And I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's one of the things that I find a little bit larger. When I was a little racing snake at the age of 24, I had to wear loads of clothing because my metabolic rate was burning off calories before I could even use it properly, and I used to suffer with a cold. As I've got older and I've got a little bit broader, and I've put a little bit of protective layer on, I don't find it such an issue. Okay, and I've got that little bit of reserve. I've got that little bit extra that my body can go to in an emergency and burn and use. Whereas the skinnies, well, they're for the pot, really.
Yeah, they can be drafty.
Yeah, it can be a bit drafty in the wind. And I've done it myself, and I know everybody looks at you a bit weird when they're stood there in their Gore-Tex gear and you're in your poncho and you've got a bungee around yourself. And I've been known to wrap a bungee around me, stop my poncho blown around. Everybody's like,
Ian,
is that a bungee? Very good, Ian.
Yeah.
Very good. Okie doke. Nuns then. Here's a number 1 point. Right. To put this in context, Guildford High Street's a very steep hill and it's cobbles. Has been cobbled for hundreds and hundreds of years. There are 2 nuns on a tandem push bike going down Guildford cobbled High Street. One says to the other, I've never come this way before. And the other one says, no, it's the cobbles that do it. Belted bin line.
Yeah, you think that there would be somewhere out there that made more than us reluctant ladies' clothing would see that there is a market there for people of our sizes that want decent gear.
It's been a fashion-led mindset for a long time, isn't it? And let's face it,
Katrina, hi Michael.
The fashion-led mindset is like we're only catering for one type of person, okay? Not catering for types likes of me, likes of Kaz. Okay, simple as that. No, we're not catering for you. And industry, clothing, and that's always gone that way. Okay. But there is scope for the ordinary person. If somebody had the money, there would scope go. In actual fact, you're starting to see a bit of a change now, aren't you? And things like lingerie. Lingerie and that, they're starting to develop. And actually go, do you know what? Let's make something pretty for the larger lady. Let's make some nicer outfits. And let's face it, we're not all the image of some fashion designer who, well, I'm not going to get into my thing on fashion designer because I will just offend somebody and get people upset. But
that's the way forward, though, isn't it? Okay, it's just by saying to people, why don't you? And perhaps they will. Well, we're just talking about the fact that if you are not a ski lady, it's hard to get outdoor wear, waterproof stuff that actually work. Exactly. because I mean that's one of the reasons why I've got two mobility scooters. I've got a small one that fits in the car that's for shopping, but I've got a larger Breeze that is more off-roady, so that I can actually go out in the woods and the forests and enjoy myself. But I have to be dressed right to do so.
Yeah, again, that's another one. Oh, we want all larger people to get outside and get fit. Well, if they can't get the gear to go outside in, what do you want them to do? Okay.
I mean, I don't mind if they charge extra because obviously I need more material for my moves. But
you can put less material on them. I don't mind.
But it does seem silly.
Yeah. Like it, Martin. Yeah.
If I get chased
Very good, Lee.
I'd run the buggers over.
Yeah. Yeah. So getting the gear and getting the kit. Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest challenges, especially to newbies. Especially to people new in the field. I mean, it's like we're always saying, oh, you know, go Army Surplus and that. But when you actually go to the Army Surplus supplies, they vary so much, especially the online ones. And it's now starting to become sort of they're trying to make it a niche thing. Whereas in the old days, you know, you can go along, you pick up a couple of woolly pulleys for a £5. You pick up a pair of couple of pairs of combats for a £10. Okay. And that gives you your basic kit. Now I'm starting to look on some of the sites, especially one or two more of the niche ones, and they're pretty much selling Army Surplus gear for more than it would have cost to buy new. And the thing is, I know people in the trade. I know what it costs. I know what it costs for them to go to the suppliers and go to the auctions, the military auctions and the military supply companies, and to buy it. And I know how they buy it. I know it comes in bundles. I know that you buy the trousers in bundles of anything from 10 to 100. And they pay, yeah, they're not free or anything, but you know, they're not that expensive. But it just seems to be there's some people putting a hell of a markup on it, and then of course others follow, and before you know it, it's pricing stuff out.
There should be somewhere apart from military surplus that does different sizes.
Yeah, and again, you don't always want to wear military surplus, no. Do you? You know, it'd be nice for you to be able to go out and say, you know, I like that good quality branded name outdoor jacket that is designed for what I need, and I would like to buy it. It's getting it, and I find the same sort of problem for me. I mean, I got the issue that I'm sort of, I can't describe myself, short and wide, but in two parallels. Top's fairly wide across the shoulders, and the middle's quite wide, fine, sort of belly button to my arse.
But that's stupid, because a lot of people buy military army surplus, and they're builders or farmers or shooters. It's because they're hard wearing, because they've been made for the military, and you know they just instead of buying expensive trousers, you get a pair of army trousers and you wear them to death, and then bin them and get another pair.
Anybody that's ex-military, and I've had this one myself. I've had some twat turn around to me and say, "Why are you wearing army gear? Okay, you're not in the army anymore. Why are you wearing army gear?" And I said, "Well, have you ever served in the armed forces?" No. I said, "Well, any squaddy worth his salt, you will always meet the odd knob, okay, that will start harping on because he's a knob, okay, simple as that. But the majority of squaddies, the majority of people will look at you and go, you're just wearing camo, okay. The issue comes if you're wearing camo with insignia on it, okay." I get annoyed about that. It's actually illegal in America. It's not illegal in the UK. We haven't got a law that says it's illegal to wear an insignia you haven't, or a patch you haven't earned. Okay, hence we get quite a few waters over here. But at the end of the day, you'll see on all my military kit, there is no insignia. There is nothing. Okay, I'm ex-Royal Engineer, but there is no insignia on my gear. Okay, and if somebody comes to me and says, "Why are you wearing military kit?" Right, I should just look them in the eye and say, "Because it's cheap, it's strong, it's affordable, it's comfortable, it does the job I need it to do. It's army surplus." Okay, and at the end of the day, or I'll just look at them, shake my head, and walk away. Right, because they're just being a dick. Okay, now I have. Excellent. That's the response to have.
Yeah.
Is just don't be a dick. Okay. I'd normally look them up and down and go, well, why are you wearing that? Because it looks shit on you. You know, that's my response. If you're going to throw crap at me, I'm going to throw it back. Even if mentally I'm looking at them going, blimey, he's finally well dressed. I'll go, God, blimey, couldn't you have bought a pair of trousers that fitted? Have him walking off with it playing in his mind, you know, I thought I looked all right. Oh, what's wrong with me? Yeah, and you can get it free. You can scrounge it.
You multi-purpose. You'll when his trousers wear out, as you might have seen in some of his videos, he's turned the pockets into carriers for different bits and pieces.
The great thing with the old trousers is you've got the drawstring bottoms. So all I do is once they're knackered, I cut off whatever length I want, and I sew just a patch at the bottom, whether it be natural material or leather, and it just makes me a little drawstring bag. You know, it then goes back into my system and gets used for keeping kitting. I've got a couple of my poncho bags, tarp bags. They're literally a pair of combats cut off just above the knee. And I've sewn a patch in at the bottom, left the drawstring at the other end, and it makes a big bag that you can just throw your kit into. It saves money. It's strong, it's sturdy, repurposes it, recycles it.
It's like the ultimate recycling, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and again, you know, if you're not wearing patches or insignia, you're not impersonating. You're not doing it. And I think in the States, I don't think there's an issue with people wearing camouflage per se. It's the insignias. It's if you're wearing insignia. John can point me in the right path there. I think it's a case of if you're wearing a beret, all the gear, and an insignia, and you hadn't earned it, then you're going to get called out. Whereas if you're just wearing a pair of combat trousers for work, for going hunting with, for going hiking in, I think the attitude is it's a pair of combat trousers. If you're wearing a combat smock with no insignias on it, you're just wearing a combat smock. You know, I don't think there's an issue there. I may be wrong, but yeah, dry and unfashionable rather than fashionable and wet. Always. You know, and at the end of the day, it's like when you look at foreign kit. I've had people before now. I wouldn't wear Russian kit because I am anti-Russian. Well, I don't care. If the Russians come out with a piece of equipment, i.e., like the blanket, that's cheap and affordable, and will do the job for me, and is good kit, I'm going to buy it. Because once I've bought it, it's no longer a Russian blanket; it's a Mickey blanket.
Yeah, it's some people are just
not technically illegal, but if you're showing your ass, you might get a tune up. Just saying. Don't suit for the win. So basically, yeah, I suppose it comes down to the context. Then it's how you're wearing it, why you're wearing it. You know, personally, I see a lot of channels. I see a lot of American channels with people with kit and equipment and that, and you know, without being rude, you can tell by their demeanour and what they're doing and how they're doing it, their experience or their military background. And you can tell some blatantly don't. They don't have much idea of a military background. But again, I don't see an issue with it. Yeah, Gore-Tex. Yes, expensive. It is expensive. And again, if you're buying ex-military tops, ponchos, Gore-Tex and that, okay, then it's always graded. So you get A1, which is absolutely pristine. Almost invariably, it's new. It's surplus and it's new. You'll get A grade, which can be brand new, still packaged, but might have just been worn once. And then you've got the B and C grades. B and C grades I tend to avoid because invariably they're knackered. There's no point in spending a fortune buying a set of Gore-Tex only to find that it's got a rip or a tear in it, or it's absolutely full of holes. So unfortunately, you're going to have to build the cash up for that. Although I've also got a couple of Gore-Tex sets, and I've got a couple of tops I've just patched with tape. Put minor repair on it. No, it's not always what it seems. I've got a pair of the new style Gore-Tex trousers, and I absolutely love those. They are windproof. They are waterproof to a point. They have a waterproof zip on them. They are, like with all things, if it's 100% if something's going to be 100% waterproof, then it's going to trap condensation. Okay. Now I know Gore-Tex is supposed to be breathable, but if you're in a high exertion area, or you're really exerting yourself, or you're in a warm, wet environment, then it's not going to work. And as Tommy was saying when we did the video the other day, for him, if he's on ops, then he's not wearing waterproofs. He's wearing his wet kit. He's wearing his wet clothing that he's going to use for patrolling, for the exercise and that, because it's quiet, it's efficient and that. He keeps his waterproof gear either back at his basher or back at the fob or back at his location, or has it packed away in his kit for when he's in a safe zone, when he's in a situation where he can say, now I can afford to get into my dry clothing, and then he'll use that just for the casual movement and stuff where he's not exerting himself, just to keep himself warm and dry. But as soon as he's got to go back to a tactical mode, unless he's bumped, obviously, it's going to be back into the fighting order, and the fighting order is probably going to be wet and cold. And I think anybody that's served knows that feeling of crawling back into your wet gear and tabbing on with it. But again, funny thing is, it's cold and uncomfortable when you first get into it. But if you're moving around, you're getting a warm drink into you, get a bit of food into you, you start moving, you start exercising, yeah, you start to warm up. And again, as I said earlier on, I'd rather be wet and warm than sort of dry and cold, really, because it's the cold that will kill you.
John says about you've got the Russian one.
Yeah, I've got the Flash Plaka, I've got the Lavu. I've got a full Lavu set, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And as a cape, it's superb. Okay, as a one-man cape, weather cape, it is superb. Yes, it's heavy, but by God, it will keep the weather off you. And bear in mind where the climate that this equipment was designed for. This is Poland, Central Europe. Bitterly cold winters. Okay, wet, cold, damp climate. Long, dry, hot summers, but once you got into the autumn and the winter, yeah, temperature's down, it's getting cold, it's going to snow. Absolutely brilliant. I do love it. And again, makes a nice little hot tent as well.
Of course you can show off.
You show off, Rachel. You show off all you want, my lovely. You
go for it.
Yeah, you have your moment. You streak through that woodland.
You own it.
2 black, 1 OD. Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, no, we like a show off, Jason. Love a show off.
Jason, calm down. Calm down, love.
We love a show off. It's everybody has a right to show off occasionally. Okay. It's yeah, be proud of what you got and enjoy it.
It's not bragging if you can do it. And
Exactly.
you have got it.
Have I? Well, I've just learned something new. No, it's not bragging. No, at the end of the day, be proud. Yeah, learn knowledge. I don't know what it is with society, this thing where you're not allowed to. All right, there's a difference between bragging, showing off something you're capable, that you've taken the time to learn, study, become proficient at, and putting people down. Okay. So, and I've done it. I've been on the courses where the guy stands over you and he just puts you down. Everything you do, it's that's crap. You'll never do it. You'll never do it. Right? Now, that's wrong. That's wrong. If you're good at something, be good at something. Be proud of being good, but be proud of the fact that you've taken the time, the effort to learn a skill or an ability, right? And show people, okay? And teach people and share it. There's nothing wrong with that at all, okay? It's not being big-headed, okay? It's a different matter if you look at people and go, I can do this. You can't.
It's the same with
right? That's wrong.
It's the same with equipment, though, isn't it? If you use something and someone goes, "Oh, no, that's rubbish," but they haven't actually tried it themselves, but they're making out like they know what they're talking about. It's, try it.
Yeah. Like the conversation over the British Army survival knife.
Exactly.
Yeah. But they're cheap. Yeah, they're cheap.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't have one. They're cheap. Oh, you wouldn't have one because they're cheap? Yes, I wouldn't have one. They're cheap. My knife cost me over £1,000. It's like, all right.
Yeah. When you lose it,
so.
That's it.
Special K likes them huge and heavy.
That's it, Lee. And they got memories.
Yeah.
Experiences. Like, oh yeah, last time I had that, I remember I did that when I was
crikey, yeah. I've got rakes of kit. Every now and again, I dig something out and I pick it up and I look at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, do you remember that? I mean, it's like that little knife I've got. Okay. Okay, this little knife here. Okay. This little knife.
Exactly, Rachel. Exactly.
Was actually Caroline's dad's. Okay, so it's a bit of sentimentality there for Gaz. Now,
I've got a really tiny one of his.
But it's also got sentimentality for me. Okay. And it needs a bit of a clean, I will admit that, so don't rib me too much on the state of the blade. When I was 13 years old, for Christmas, my father gave me one of those. It's a little Bowie knife. Okay. Little Bowie sheath knife, a little leather pouch. Got it from Jeffrey's gun shop. And that was given to me for my 13th birthday. And I was allowed that around the farm, around the woods and that. And I'd carry it on my belt. And that was my pride and joy. I was so proud of the fact my father trusted me enough to allow me to have that. And to me, it meant the world. It really did. Being 13 and young and stupid, like you often are, I got into throwing it at a tree. And about the third throw, it didn't stick in. It bounced off the tree and it went into the long grass. Never to be seen again. Okay. So when that came to us, it brought back that memory. And it brought back that sense of pride in my father allowing me to have one of those. Okay. And the thing is, my father allowed me to have one of those because for the previous 4 or 5 months, every time we went out for a walk or I did something with him, he would give me a sheath knife to take with me under his tuition. And he showed me how to whittle with it. And he showed me how to use it properly. He showed me how to cut things, how to cut cordage with it, how to use it. And I didn't understand at the time what he was doing was preparing me for having my own. He was building the skill set and the trust, and he was working out, is it time for him to have his own knife, or is he going to be too immature to have it? Well, I was probably too immature because I tried throwing it at a tree, but there we go. You learn those lessons.
We used to go one down in just outside Fittleworth, wasn't it? We used to go to an army surplus, but they also used to do up the old Land Rovers and have all the Sankey trailers and that there as well, but they've all gone.
Yeah. There are, and there's somebody hit me up a while back after I did a video. They put the comment on there and they said, I buy Gucci kit, I buy expensive knives. Are you putting me down for it? And I replied to him, I said, no, I'm not putting you down for it. If you can afford, get the best you can afford. If you can afford an expensive tent system, or you can afford an expensive cut set, right? Or me, I'd love at the moment. Oh, I'd love one of the.
Is it you sold your show again?
One of the more expensive wood stoves with the chimney with the glass panels in it. I've seen some really good ones I like, but way more than I can afford. So I've got my cheap little Amazon one, but it does the job for me. Okay, there's nothing wrong with having expensive kit at all. I'm never saying that. But I'm also saying there's nothing wrong with having cheap gear if it works. And that's the thing, isn't it? Not all the expensive gear is as good as it's marked up to be. And not all the cheap gear is as crap as people think it's going to be. So it's finding that balance. It's finding what works for you. And finding what you're comfortable with it. And sometimes, especially if you're a collector and you're a collector of kit and equipment, it's nice to have the expensive stuff. Whether or not you choose to use it is your business. If you want to just sit and look at it and go, it's a Ray Mears bushcraft survival knife. I had to wait 10 years on the waiting list to get it, but I finally got it at many hundreds of pounds. Yeah, I'd leave it on the wall. I don't think I'd use it. I'd be fucking mortified if I broke it. So after a 10-year waiting list,
expensive stuff away, because if you leave a jacket behind or lose your knife or your multi-tool or stuff you've had for years, it's gutting.
How many multi-tools have I lost over the years? Yes,
That's right, mine. Every day's a school day.
Yeah, God, blimey, yeah.
So I was shocked to find out ladies' handbags. I thought ladies' handbags, and I've looked into. I read the story of how handbags came about. These were ladies that during the big battles would go out and check the bodies, and they would take a hand and put it in a bag to show that they'd been out and
done what they're supposed to be doing.
So hence a handbag. A bit different from keeping your makeup and your mirror and your Gucci purse in, isn't it?
Never stop learning. I've run courses for years. I've been an instructor in lots of different things, military and civilian. And one of the things I've loved and I've actually enjoyed more than anything else is the amount of times I'm teaching or I'm instructing, and somebody will turn around and say, "Oh yeah, but we do something similar, but we do it like this." And the amount of times I've been shown a new technique and giving it a go, and actually, oh, bloody hell, yeah, that works a lot better. Do you mind if I use it? And I'll practice it with them till I can perfect it and get it right, and then I will share that with others. Because again, it's just all about passing on knowledge, isn't it?
You like your Mora nice, don't you?
Yeah, Mora nice, crikey, yeah.
They're cheap, but
cheap, efficient, do exactly what they say on the tin. Okay, they're good quality kit. Yeah, I've got a size 2 Levu. I'm lucky I'm 5'9". Everybody's always saying about needing the biggest Levu. I actually get on right with the size 2, to be honest with you. And it's adaptable in so many ways, so I've never had an issue with it.
You just wait for the snow to go out in your hot tent.
Yeah.
Use a big stove.
Got 2 choices for hot tent in this year. For the first time ever, I've got I've got a One Tigris hot tent, which is modern materials, and I've got my Lavoo, and I've used the Lavoo for years, and I've always been happy with it, purely and simply because it's canvas, and I've never had to worry about sparks and stuff dropping on it. And this year I bought the One Tigris hot tent, and it's a teepee style hot tent again, because I like that system. There's just something in the back of my head just constantly going, burn holes in it, burn holes in it, you'll burn holes in it. You know, so,
yeah, the reviews have gone up and up,
and they're
and
becoming
up and up.
rarer, they're becoming harder to find now.
It's like
although, bear in mind that most of the former Soviet states made their own version of it. Okay, there are Romanian Lavoos, Romanian. I'm trying to think of the other one that I saw the other day, and I thought, that's not too bad. I think it was Czech.
Yeah.
But a lot of the former Soviet bloc countries made their own version of, and you can get these, and some of them vary slightly in size, but at the end of the day, they're still going to be made to the same sort of standard.
Oh, nice. I had to see some photographs then, John.
Yeah, you have to send us some photographs.
You're right when you said about the prices, because someone for the last 2 months has been trying to sell one of the German army sleeping bags, the ones with the sleeves, the sniper ones, aren't they?
Bag, yeah.
Yeah. And they got it on for £100, and it's been on there for 2 months now. No one's taken it.
I'll be honest with you, it's not worth £100.
No.
Now, problem with
it doesn't look that good a condition either.
No, well, the thing is, I'll get one down. I'll demonstrate this. It's worth people seeing. I've got a lot of people looking for it at the moment. And where is she shooting? Okay, so German Army sniper bag. Okay, well, for a start, that's the size of it.
It's huge.
It's a big bag. Okay, it is a big bag. Now, I like this one. I keep this one for car camping. Okay. The reason I keep it for car camping is its size, and it's got the arms. It's also my emergency bag. Goes in the car if the weather conditions getting that bad out there. Goes in the car because I can actually drive in this. Okay, so if the heating goes in the car, a window goes through or something like that, and I've still got to get home, I've got this I can put on as a layer to protect me. If I've got to sleep in the car, I can do. Now,
Rachel's got an 18 by 12 British Army hot tent.
We got rid of that 12 by 12 last year, didn't we?
Yeah, but that wasn't a hot tent.
No.
No,
Yeah, it was.
Is it? Oh,
I had 12 by 12. It was like the kitchen tent. So you did have a stove jack in the corner. And you also had the exhaust jack on the sides so that you could run
we used to sleep in half of it and have a stall in the other half, didn't we, when we went to...
We certainly did. So, German Army sniper bags. So, the bonus with these is purely and simply, you've got the arms. Okay? So, when you're in this sleeping bag, the lining system goes all the way down the arms, okay, and they are a big bag system. The bag itself has a waterproof layer all the way around the back, so you can lay on the ground with it. It's 100% waterproof, and on the sleeves. And down the centre of the front, you have a breathable panel.
Careful.
So that you get a little bit of airflow. Now, they're not the thickest bag in the world. They're a down bag, and with time, the down compresses and that because he's left rolled up for way too long. They want a bit of fluffing up, so they're not quite as thermally efficient as they would have been when they were new. The other thing is the plastic lining on the outside starts to break up with time, so they lose a bit of waterproofing. So, do I think they're worth £100? When they were new, yes, definitely, £100 all day long. Most of them these days, unless you're lucky enough to find one that's in absolute pristine condition, okay, they've probably been rolled and packed and in storage for 10 to 15 years minimum, okay. So, trying to get loft back into the down to get them to trap a lot of heat isn't going to work quite so well. If you're in, like me, car camping, you're in the car, yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. It will work. It will keep me warm. It will keep me safe. The other bonus with these is halfway down the sleeping bag, you've got this panel, which is a pop and zip. Pop and zip there. So you literally can fold the bottom of the half of the bag. It's got a clip on it, clips into the hood. Okay. So your legs, literally from about halfway down your thighs, just above your knees, are
So you look
hanging
like a
out.
green chip.
Yes, you look like a big green chip. So you can run, you can walk around, you can manoeuvre about, you can get up, walk around, literally use it as a parker. Hence I say you can drive in this. You could literally poke your legs out and you've got your arms and you could drive in it. It was an awesome piece of kit in its day. Trying to find one today, I mean, if I could find one that was in genuinely A1 condition, still had loft, had been stored correctly, I'd pay 100 quid for it. I'd pay 200 or 300 quid for it because it's something that would last for years and it would be excellent. For what they are now, if you can pick one up for 20, 30 quid, grab it. Worth having in your kit. I wouldn't pay any more than that for it. I really wouldn't. Again, because they're old, and it's really the thing that's done them in is the storage and the use. You know, they've just been abused in a lot of cases. A lot of the zippers have had their best. So again, not so good. I do wish, and I think that if a modern company, somebody like One Tigris or somebody like that, wants to make a sleeping bag that is going to really take off in the bushcraft world and the wild camping world, make this today. Make this. If anybody ever sees this video from any of those companies, you want to make a fortune out of people, make this today, right? Using modern technology, modern equipment, exactly the same pattern, with the sleeves, with the zip off in the center, with the waterproof layer, right? Using modern equipment, modern materials, modern lofting materials, you are going to take the market by storm. Okay, you'll sell these to everybody from the military onwards because it is so versatile. The one downside of a sleeping bag that we all find is you've got to get in it. And if you're anybody like me, there's either the sleeping bag's that huge you can't fill it, so you don't trap enough air, or it's that tight that you're in it like that and you just have a rotten night of it. With this, you throw your arms down them sleeves, yeah, you can move about, you're comfortable. So that would sell like hotcakes today, I reckon. Chuff that out of the way.
You put him back in his.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You're going to go back in your
yeah,
cage, little man.
he's just getting under my feet and your feet.
Oh, there you go, mate. Good lad. There you go. You kill your alligator.
You're right, Lee. I mean, those fishing bivvies, they're ideal for hot tents because they're made for all sorts of weather. You don't just go. I mean, you get your carp fishing, but you got your pike fishing when it gets to winter time.
Yep.
And perch and things like that. So
yeah.
Ideal.
And fishing bivvies are meant to be as light as possible, but as sturdy as possible. Guy's going to sit on a lake immobile for sometimes weeks on end trying to catch his carp. It's got to work.
Yeah, that's what you found, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your Mac for your hammocks.
Yeah, I prefer a hammock. I do like a hammock.
To been all around.
18 by 12, that's a hell of a tent, that is, Rachel. Oh, the stove got stolen. That's a fucking shame. Yeah. Yeah, the MSS system rocks. Yeah. There are a couple of sleeping bag sort of soup systems, but again, they're just nowhere near the design standard of that. And I do think it needs to be made to that standard, i.e., so that you don't need a bivy bag with it, so that it's sealed. That was made at a time before Gore-Tex, so it wasn't completely waterproof down the centre. And I think with today's technology, you could make the back in a harder wearing material, so the basically in most situations like that, you usually go to sleep on your back or your side, so it comes around 3/4, and then make the front section Gore-Tex so it's breathable. And you've now got a sleep system where you pretty much, I mean, that was designed to be taken out into any environment, minimum shelter, crash into it, and that's why it was nicknamed the sniper bag, because so many people that were snipers bought that system, because it meant if you were in a hide and you were set up, you're in that bag, you've got your arms available, you're in a warm, comfortable environment, self-enclosed environment, with the ability to do things.
Roots is coming. Roots line.
Yeah. Hey Boots, hey Roots line, how you doing, mate?
Evening, Derek.
Derek, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, it's Movember.
Movember, mate. So I'm wearing the Mo for Movember. Beard will return as normal in December. Can't
Dr.
wait.
Annoyed because he can't chew it.
You can see, I keep nicking myself shaving. Bloody hate it. I really hate it. I wish I'd never agreed to it. But hey, there we go. Yeah, underquilts. Yeah, I mean, my old underquilt used to be literally an old sleeping bag that the zipper had gone on, and I used to tie that up underneath the sleeping bag or underneath the hammock and use that as an underquilt. And it worked. It worked. It created a windproof layer between me and the outer environment that would loft and trap a little bit of heat. Now I've actually got myself a proper one.
Right.
Yeah, so, and that works well for me. And again, with hammocks, some hammocks, it's finding the hammock that suits you. And I find some hammocks sort of squash me like that. I get lost in them. They're almost too deep. I'm trying to find a hammock that's got a little bit of width to it, which means I'm going to have to use a spreader bar. Which again, that means more kit, more carrying, and all the rest of it. And I'm too tight-fisted to spend the money.
Tighter than a duck's bum.
Tighter than a duck's bum. I'm too tight-fisted to go and spend a fortune or something like that. Yeah, I do like a net on my hammock. Unfortunately, purely and simply, the areas I'm in, we've got quite a bug problem. And I hate mozzies.
It's Derek. Look, we've got his lordship, his own little glowing little jacket, so we don't lose him in the woods with his name, just in case he forgets who he is.
Yeah, he's got the hump tonight because it's bonfire night here, so we've had fireworks going off. He's working out whether he can get down or not.
Jim.
And he's been getting a bit more freedom to get the run of the house. And so
he's learned to get up and downstairs.
On the odd moment that he is putting his box for his own safety, he gets quite annoyed about it, and he tells us he's quite a vocal little dog. He sits there and he's now the fireworks have stopped. There's no reason for him to be scared, and he actually did very well with the fireworks. We didn't react to them. We basically just carried on like it was normal. First couple gave him a bit of a fright. But after a while, he said, well, if you're not bothered, I'm not bothered. And
well, Derek, he's on the Guinness tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
He learnt, he got himself a Guinness the other day, and some little furball decided that he was going to take the top of it for him.
Yeah, he likes Guinness. That's fine. And one of the things I always like, when I first started drinking Guinness, the young man, again, because I was saying before, I'm not much of a drinker. Apart from spirits was my downfall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I do like certain spirits, and I like them too much. I have to be a bit careful with spirits. But I used to drink Guinness because, again, in the mess and that, you don't want to be drinking a lot. So you have a pint of Guinness, and you can sit and just enjoy it all evening. It's a slow drink. Yeah, I'm thinking that now. So I've got the. Oh, which one was it? One Tigris, was it? It was one. Yes, one Tigris hammock. I got a one Tigris hammock. Okay, now I like it, but I don't think comfort wise it's quite got the edge on the snug pack. I had the snug pack jungle before, which I found really comfortable. But the one Tigris, it's a bit deep for me. I get into it and I'm literally the sides are up here, and it then pulls my shoulders in compressively a little bit. But somebody did say to me it's probably the straps. Try changing the straps out on it. So again, it's something to have a play with. Yeah.
I would say it makes him grow hairs on his chest, but he's got enough hair as it is.
Yeah, it's not wrong with a good point again. It will do you some good. It's healthy. Yeah, and it's. I mean, yeah, say healthy. I did a silly session on Guinness one night. Had 9 pints of Guinness. Finished it off with brandy chasers. God dear me, did I feel rough the following day. Means it's too short. Okie doke. So I need a longer hammock. Cheers, Roots Lion. Good bit of advice there. I shall do that then. I shall have a look into a longer hammock. Okay, so Roots Lion was just saying the reason why my hammock's a bit tight on me is it's too short for me.
Ah.
So, okie doke. Well, that might become a giveaway in the future then.
I wonder if I shove them in the washing machine, then put them in the tumble dryer, you'll shrink, and then you'll fit in it.
I wouldn't mind shrinking a little bit, to be honest with you. If I could shrink myself in the right places, that is. One window of 12.
Ah.
Okay, doke. I'll have a look into that. So, one Tigris might go up as a giveaway or something at a later date. DD is larger as well. XL is larger as well. Okay. Well, cheers your advice, guys. Yeah, because I used the Snug Pack Jungle for years, and you've got something and I was always comforted. People say, "I'll try this, try that." No. And in the end, I gave the Jungle Snug Pack away because, again, I'd had it for so long. I was like, you start getting to that point where you're like, sooner or later it's going to fail. So I thought, right, I'll pass that on to somebody else, and went over I bought the one Tigris because, again, I looked at it and thought, what, that's not a bad price and it's not a bad looking hammock. I'll buy that. Yeah, first couple of times in it, I've been a bit, not as comfortable as I was with the Jungle. Definitely not. It felt like it was, eating me. Was what it felt like. It felt really sort of a bit compressed in it, which is not for me.
You went like a caterpillar in its chrysalis, waiting to be a butterfly.
John Kennedy on Tigris tents all day.
Twice on Sundays. Woohoo!
On winter hammocks twice on Sundays.
No one said about the bar being open tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit late for that.
Do apologise. Well, yeah. I don't. Air Maxing.
Slip sliding away.
Yeah. I put an Air Max in the hammock.
It's bonfire night here, Derek. It's everyone's celebrating Guy Fawkes.
Yeah, celebrating the failed assassination of King James I by the Catholics. Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, we have fireworks for Halloween, for bonfire night. Then we'll have another load at New Year.
Martin. Yeah. So I was about 2 years ago. I was like, right, I'm going to try. I'd seen it. I was like, I'm going to try putting an inflatable mattress into my hammock. Apparently, it's going to make an absolute beautiful flat lay hammock. God, I'd never had such an awful night in my life. I kept waking up, fighting with this thing. It was trying to go out one side, out the other way. I think I woke up at one point and it had turned sort of 90 degrees to me and was sort of out of the hammock like that in the air. It was, yeah, god awful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or I'll bungee you into it.
Bungee me into it. I think the knack is really...
black nasty, that's what you need.
I think the knack is to get yourself tired. It's to get yourself as knackered as possible. Get yourself to the point where it really wouldn't matter what the situation is, you're going to sleep. Yeah. So I was thinking about that. It's finding one, because you get it now with the double air system in it. And I was also looking at some of the flat lay reverse hammocks, but by the time you see them up, I'm like, really? That just looks more of a nightmare than it's worth.
What's that one that Kent had? He had a round one that hung from a tree. And he went to sit back in it, and it was just...
Yeah,
like in a bird cage.
I mean, really, let's face it, the most comfortable hammock you're ever going to be in is a proper old-fashioned traditional hammock, the sort of thing you will see all over South America and that, which is with a spreader bar which spreads it out, and that creates a flat hammock. And
I'm a side sleeper as well.
Yeah, most hammocks, when you see them used traditionally, people don't lay flat along it or straight along the line of the hammock. They tend to lay at an angle. They lay diagonally across the hammock.
Trouble with Velcro, you get Velcro caught around body hair.
Yeah, and let's face it, I do have a bit of fluff.
You're a bit of a furry.
Yeah. So one thing nobody's ever going to see on this channel is me with my t-shirt off. I look like a bleeding gorilla. It's just, I am cursed with hair. You know, I'll prove this all to you.
When he's young, he didn't. He had not one hair on his chest, and now he's
Nature and age is cruel to us.
McGilla the gorilla.
Cruel to us. I'm losing my hair on my top. Okay. And yet it's sprouted over every single part of my body. I'll take my t-shirt off, I look like a bloody silverback gorilla. Right? My beard grows at an astounding rate. And I'll prove this all to you. The last Sunday of the month, I'll stop shaving. And I can guarantee you within 2 weeks I've got a full beard. It's just mental. It grows like mad. But will it grow up there? What the hell? I blame berets. That's what I blame.
That's all mine.
Years of wearing a beret. It's that's what killed it. I reckon it cut off the blood supply to my forehead. Lazy Gamer, thanks for subscribing to the channel. You subscribers, just come up on the side there.
Excellent.
So if you're watching this, Lazy Gamer, welcome. Please join us on the chat if you wish.
The other thing with Velcro, it gets any bits of twig and moss and any bits of cotton. It ends up not working so well, does it? You have to end up
and it ain't
stuck in your Velcro.
It ain't tactical, Velcro.
Nah.
Velcro ain't tactical. You suddenly got to get out of your hammock in a hurry, find yourself stuck to your hammock like that. Yeah.
Could you imagine Velcro and Mr. Wiggy?
Mr. Wig, yeah.
You'd have big ball patches.
Right, where are we now? 1:53. 1 hour and 53 minutes. Right, what I'm going to do, unlike last week, we went on for, was it 3 hours?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Right. We'll call it quits in a bit, guys. That'll be 2 hours. I know some of you have got to get up for work tomorrow.
Definitely Velcro's the voice of the devil.
Yeah, Velcro's not my friend. What we'll do, we'll call it quits in about 2 hours. We're at 1 hour and 54 minutes now. So
I've got 21:47. I've got 21:47. Yeah, because you started before time, didn't you?
Yeah, I started a little bit before time. All right, we'll go a little bit over then. We'll go 2 hours and 10 minutes tonight. So we've got about 20 minutes left, or just actually 20 minutes, nearly 15 minutes left. So what we'll do, we'll start winding up now. We'll start saying goodnight to one another. Any jokes, any comments, anything anybody wants to hit up quick, wants any information, knowledge, wants to say anything funny that's happened to anybody this week, hit us up. Let's hear it. Let's have it now. Cheers, Kate. More than welcome. Special Kate. I'd like to see you again next Sunday. Thank you for joining us. It's much appreciated. And thank you for your worthwhile comments. And again, this is how the chat works. The channel normally is me doing my videos and that, trying to share a bit of knowledge and a bit of information. But Sunday night is a let your hair down. It is a relax, unwind. It is a laugh, a joke, a chat. Let some of the pressure off. It's a case of grab your beer, grab your cup of tea, sit yourself in front of your computer or your phone. Sit back, put your feet up, and just imagine this. You're in Mickey's pub now. The doors are shut. All the political correctness is outside. The doorman will keep it there. Enjoy yourself and have a pleasant evening. Old-fashioned pub night. Have a natter, have a laugh. In fact, what we might have to do at some point is get a dartboard set up, or we'll have a virtual game of darts.
Have a quiz.
No worries, mate. Glad you made it through the storm. I was a little bit worried for you down there.
Excellent. I'm really pleased for you, Katrina. You got your maiden name back. Yes, you can do a video on choppy axes and
choppy axes. Yes, we
axes and choppy things.
We're going to do choppy things.
Maintenance,
repair, making, maintaining, the use of. There was nothing wrong with my little black helmet. Yeah, combination of motorcycle helmets, blackberries, and other bits of kit. That's what's ruined my hair, unfortunately. And also lots of nerves, worries, concerns, and that through life. But hey, Stephen, you have a fantastic week. Have a fantastic week. Yeah, we'll cover. Yeah, so that's one. So I've been asked.
That's not bad at all, Roots.
Yeah.
12 quid for a -7 snug pack sleeping bag.
Mate, yeah, grab that. Yeah. It's bloody good. Bloody good. Yeah, well bought. Yeah. Stupid bloody bit of plastic. I actually, Lee, I put it down to just the berry itself. You know, it was.
Either that or you've been mugged by rabbits, taken off, and
carried away by a bastard.
Yeah, a great bastard has got you in his nest.
Yeah, just remember, Jason, those things with huge legs out there, they're not turkeys. Those are bastards, and they're protected.
Yeah.
And for anybody that thinks I'm having a slip of the tongue here and cursing somebody in the British Army, because Jason's going to be off doing a wild camp down near Salisbury Plain. The great bastard is a huge,
huge turkey, isn't it?
Bird we've reintroduced into the UK just on Salisbury Plain. Yeah, hard to describe what it is. Really, it's just it's a hobbit ostrich, really. It's just,
it's a weird looking thing.
Yeah, funny old looking thing.
Thank you very much, Derek.
Derek, hope you're good out there, mate. Hope the weather's doing you good.
Tracy made me a cake that was green and it had the spider's web on it. And I've got another lovely birthday cake, so I've done well.
I got away with it, my berry, Lee. I basically put it in the hot water, took it out, slapped it on my head, kept it on my head till it was dry. That was it. It fitted for me lovely ever since. It is round here somewhere. I don't dig it out at all anymore. I think last.
Yeah, protect. Yeah, it probably does. It is a kind of game bird, isn't it? We used to have them in the UK.
I don't know
A
whether they were
long time.
exterminated because they were a threat to game birds or whether they were tasty themselves. I'm not sure which it was. But yeah, protected usually does mean things are tasty.
But what a good idea putting out on the army ranges, because they're not stupid.
Yeah.
They just
I should have made a couple of squaddies jump.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that thing?
Oh, we talk about pumpkin pies. We went shopping on Friday, and in Morrison's, all the pumpkins were 10 pence each. So we got one sort of that high for 10p. So we're going to make a pumpkin pie out of that.
Yeah. And I was having to clear out the drawers the other day because I'm packing up the smoking. So I found a couple of items that have been floating around for years. Used to have them in my office. So that's a nice little bit of trench art. It's hard for you to see there, but that's actually marked as stamped Anzio 1944.
That one, if you get the one down with the bullets.
And I've got...
That's it. This one.
That one there.
That one was one of my parents' neighbours. During the Second World War, his wife worked at Dunsfold, and they had the Canadian Army there.
Canadian Light Horse.
Light Horse, and she was presented that during the Second World War. And when they heard that Mike was in, the army and into military stuff, they actually presented it to him.
Yeah. So that one I will never part with. That one I'll keep. That's a nice little piece.
You've even got a lighter, haven't you?
I got that one.
Yes, it is.
So it's another nice little piece. And pride and joy is that little bit of trench art there, which was made by a Cornishman. So the original Cornish flag on it there. And that was, or is, a little trench lighter. And if I put fuel in it, it still works. And the guy's family basically sold that to me because they said, well, none of us remember him. He's passed several generations ago. We don't remember him. And it's actually stamped at the top, or on the top, WR, which was his initials, and on the bottom, WJ Roach, which was quite sad. I felt quite sorry for that, so I got that, and I've kept that. It stays in my office even if I give up smoking completely.
So Derek's having barbecue steak, salmon and baked potatoes.
Oh, nice.
You get salmon, but I'll have the steak and the baked potato.
Oh yes,
we've got it
eating like a king, you know.
Oh yes,
out there in the colonies.
We've got it.
Jolly chaps in the colonies seem to be doing better than we are.
It's getting a bit cooler. We've had no rain today.
Yeah, we've had about 10 degrees today. We've had light rain for the last sort of 48 hours. Prior to that, it just hoofed it. It kept coming and coming and coming.
There's so many flood warnings.
Yeah, we've had a couple of storms blow through.
There was a 1.4 on the Richter scale
John,
earthquake in Ireland.
Your HB source will be coming to you travelling across the pond this week.
Yes.
That will be coming to you. That's a shame, Lee. That's a shame. I think I've got some 3 out of 3 shells around here if you want one. I'll send you up one. You can make another one. You know, it's yeah, that one's obviously that's 30R6, the American ammunition there, and they are inert. They have been fired. I had to check that. And the shell itself, put my seeing eyes on, which I haven't got here, so I'll have to double up. Do excuse me, it looks daft, I know, but it works. So we're looking at 37mm Mark 6, 1944.
Right.
And the primer has been removed. So, yeah, that's a fired shell.
You know, nice to put some pictures of your.
And like I say, the cat badge on that's Canadian Light Horse, which I think is an absolutely stunning cat badge. Absolutely stunning. And I just passed. I did have a figure 11 target board that over the 16 years I collected cat badges from various regiments and units that passed through me, and yeah, I kept them, and I've just passed them on to a mate that's still serving. That's up in his mess now. I think it's got about 100 and some odd cat badges there. So not just UK cat badges, literally anybody that came through that I worked with. And that.
I did get the ribbon from, is it Lusty? HMS Lusty?
No, it was Ark Royal.
Ark Royal,
Ark Royal. Yeah, the lads that were the last team that were on Ark Royal, they came through, and we had them down for a couple of days doing a shoot, because obviously they were going to guard Ark Royal before she went into decommissioning. And yeah, I had a chat to one of their guys, managed to pinch a ribbon as a souvenir off of one of them. But again, all that's gone with Tommy. That's now in a mess where it belongs, really. It's somewhere, it's history. A lot of those cat badges have now gone. The units have disappeared. They've been amalgamated. So it belongs with the military in somewhere like a mess. Young lads coming through can look up on it and go, oh, that's a really nice cat badge. Use that for. Hopefully go away and learn a bit of the history, maybe give them a little bit of pride about where they are and what they're doing. Rachel had a puddle in the car park.
We've had it on the coast. It's been really bad in the southeast, isn't it? Down at Hastings and that.
Nice, Derek. Derek's just so there. I'm caretaking still. Yeah. I do the shopping and cooking, but they buy the food. Nice.
Yes. Seems a fair swap there.
Yeah, it's a fair deal, isn't it? Yeah. It's a fair deal. You had a puddle in the car park. Oh, Rachel, God.
No, you didn't say she had a puddle in the car park.
I thought it said she made a puddle in the car park, and I was like, blimey, she must have been busted. I thought it was only me that did that. Yeah, so history. Do love my history as well. I mean, I pick up old things that fascinate me, and I don't want them to disappear in the distance, you know. Things like that, which is the old Civil Defence Corps.
Come on, Martin, you should know at our age now, you know, beans is not a good thing. Beans, curry, and cabbage you should avoid.
I'll tell you what I did on my little dog the other night when he curled up behind me. But no flooding. Good.
We've got a little river not far from here, and we're always getting flood warnings.
Yeah, I got asked to volunteer tonight to attend a bonfire with the 4x4 to pull people out. But as I pointed out to the guy, I do the response thing to aid people that are genuinely in need. And I got my live stream, and I'm not giving up my friends on my live stream to go sit and watch a bonfire and then just pull a load of idiots out of a field that have driven into a field in an ordinary car and sunk to their axles. That's their problem. Deal with it. That's a bit harsh, I know, but if you're stupid enough to drive onto a football pitch after we've had the amount of rain we have around here, then you deserve to be stuck there all night. Excellent, Derek.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. Nice. Right, we're all good, mate. We're all good.
That's a photograph. Your grandfather, you sent us the photographs of.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives you that contact, doesn't it? It gives you that contact. Yeah, well, so it just beguiled me, and the people that organised the event obviously weren't expecting it. It is a small group, and they save all year long to run this event. It's their big event of the year. and I get that, and they weren't going to cancel it because they can only get a license to do it, obviously, on the one night. The majority of people that will attend this bonfire are well within walking distance, but no, they'll still drive their car there. Never tried an educate pork. Well said, Rachel. Well said.
That's true, Derek.
Agree with you there, Derek.
I collect little salts, little tiny silver spoons. They're only about a couple of inches long, and I collect them because they're so small, and the fact that they're all, a lot of them just get melted down now for the silver in them. But I've got, I think, 1799 is the oldest silver spoon that I've got. So it's, well over 200 years old. And
that's a shame,
it's just something that how many other people have had. Yeah, memories.
Energy is definitely stored in relics and artifacts, things that meant something to somebody.
That's sadly,
and it's a link. It is a contact. It is something that person had with them.
So I sort of look at something so tiny it's 100 years old and think I can lose something in the house within 10 minutes. Yet how many people have owned that? How many families has that passed through?
How many people have had that as a treasured item? Yeah.
I'm going to pass that on to my sons and my granddaughter.
Yeah, it's important. I know the other bits of crap I pick up, things like that. That's 2-inch smoke illuminated mortar. You can tell by the way it's burnt out, and that would have been a tin can, basically about that long, little 2-inch mortar, so it's been about diameter of the fins. And that I found that with a mower one day. So when you see something poking out the ground like that, it does make you jump initially. And so I did the squatty thing, which was when I got myself 20 feet of paracord, wrapped it around the end of it, stood back, yanked it out the ground. That's what cut me. I was like, thank God for that. History is priceless. It is essential. It's got to be kept. All those little things. Oh, you all right then? Yeah, all right, man. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Yeah, we've got all sorts of bits and pieces you pick up in your life, don't you? Memories from people, and you got to tell their stories and pass them on, and so the next generation's got the story to pass on. It's all history. The only thing we leave behind us really is our story.
I've got lots of photos my grandmother gave me, and they go back to like the 1800s. But sadly, I was a little child when she used to tell me who these people were in the photographs. I have no clue now, and they're just pictures. Yes, funny you should say that.
Derek. Yeah.
We're not far from town city Guildford, and you would have seen Guildford Cathedral if you ever watched The Omen, because when they go up to the cathedral, that's one in Guildford. Well, they did a film with Mac. We had all the dragon's teeth.
Waverley Abbey.
And
we're by the little river by the dragon's teeth, and that just this, was it last week?
2 weeks ago now.
2 weeks ago, right where we were stood, no more than about 20 feet from where we were stood, they unearthed a Second World War German bomb.
Magnet fishing.
That was in the river. Somebody found it magnet fishing. 500, was it a 500 kilogram bomb? Wasn't jai huge.
No,
but it was a,
big enough.
That had to be pulled out and blown up. There's still all sorts of First World War and Second World War material floating around in the UK.
Next week, take it easy.
You can still find, on the training areas, 303 shells from the Second World War. One of the areas, and I'm probably going to do a video from up there this summer or this spring when the heather turns right. It's a place called Hankley, and that was used during the Second World War partly as a mortar range, and then went on to become the DZ drop zone for the parachute regiment for their training, because it is a big, huge bowl, massive.
There, isn't there?
You also got the Atlantic Wall there, where they practiced the demolitions of the Atlantic Wall ready for D-Day. One of the points of interest up there is still a concrete bunker just to the side, and it was literally 50 meters from the mortar impact area, because they would mark the fall of each mortar and obviously phone it back where they fell in, and it was just this little concrete bunker. And I often look at it and think, crikey, he must have had some nuts to sit in this thing watching mortar shells fall all around you to mark where they'd come in. Well, the interesting thing with that is that area there was cleared in about 2000 to 2004, I think, and they found several hundred 2-inch mortars in the ground there. They were duds, they'd not gone off for whatever reason. So they were dug up, and all over the UK all the time there are mines getting washed ashore. There are shells getting found in Cornwall, not far from where I spent a lot of my youth. Only 5 years ago, they were clearing a hedge along a dry stone wall on a country lane, and the guy that was operating the flail going along there saw something bounce out from the flail and belt off down the road in front of him, and at the time he thought, what the hell's that? So he stopped the tractor, shut the flail down, walked down the road, and gets down to where it is, and it's a hand grenade. So he sort of looks at it for a second or two, I suppose, and goes, bloody hell, it's an old hand grenade. At which point he head back to the tractor, phoned the local police. They arrived, and the funny thing is, everybody's looking at this hand grenade down the road. And so they set up a cordon by the tractor, and that called the EOD guys, and they're going to take an hour or two to get there. They're chatting. At some point, the EOD turned up, and they went, right, where were you at the time when you saw it bounce down? He said, well, just cutting along this wall there. So the EOD officer went and looked on the wall and found a stack of about 10 live hand grenades on top of the wall. The guy had actually mowed through, clipped one off the top, belted it down in front of him, and left this stack there. And they'd all been stood within feet of this stack of old Second World War hand grenades. Turned out the story behind it was they were left by the Home Guard during the Second World War. Apparently what that Home Guard unit did there is they went around various lanes and various key points and made little stashes of grenades and ammunition points. So at the event of the German invasion, they could fall back down the lanes and have various defensive positions ready to start lobbing grenades. And this was just one that had been, somebody had set it up there, probably old Jock had set it up, popped his clogs or whatever, and nobody knew where he'd left it.
That must be really interesting, Martin. I've always liked metal detecting, never actually done it. Downstairs I've got a stone cannonball that my parents found. I think they were down near Hastings about 30 years ago. They just found this stone.
History around Guildford, crikey, that's huge. That goes back so far. I mean, look, Martin, look at the places we tromped around. I mean, when I was like basically camping, well, we were camping out up in the woods just across from where my house was. There was the old footprint of a building just alongside where we were. And I've often wondered about the history of that, because the way the woods have grown up around it, that building must have been gone for well over sort of 60, 70 years. And I've recently learned just up from that, just literally within 100 metres of where we are, there was a tree that was built to commemorate the lost from Merrow during the First World War. It's an oak tree, and it's got a little metal frame around it. Well, I lived there quite a few years in my youth, and we all used to trek through there. And I don't think any of us ever noticed it. And they've recently recommemorated it, put a new frame around it to protect it, and that put a stone up with the names and details on it, which makes it all a bit interesting. There's funny history all around us. You know, especially in the UK. I mean, blimey. How many thousands of years have people been traipsing all over the land here, and how's it changed? So, yeah, it's all fascinating stuff.
For anyone else who's got a metal detector on here.
Yeah.
We always fancy doing it, but we've never actually done it.
Yeah. Well, get Martin up the woods. Get him to have a look round up the woods. You never know what he's going to find up there. Yeah, little 10-acre private woodland. More than welcome to come up and have a look round. Yeah, it's got to be one of those fascinating things to do. Oh, Benny Bushcraft's put up a video, Bonfire Eve. So I shall have a look at that later on.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyhow, guys, I think that's it. I think I'll give you the chance to say good night to one another.
I feel a hot chocolate coming on.
Yeah, Kaz fancies hot chocolate. I fancy a digestive biscuit, a cup of tea, and I know little dog could probably do with a pea.
Yeah, perhaps
Night,
you.
Katrina.
Perhaps you and Martin can meet up and do some detecting together.
I'd love to learn a bit about it. The only detectives I've ever come across before are for finding things that go boom. Yeah, I've had a go with the Vallon detector. Doodly pip escape. Winners, not just my friend Derek. Stay safe, Derek. Take it easy.
And enjoy your
John,
jacket potato, steak and salmon.
Have a great week, mate. We will be sending that off to you tomorrow. So yeah,
I'll send
be with you
details
ASAP. We'll send you the tracking details that you can track it. Absolutely fantastic chatting to you, mate. Look forward to catching you next week.
Maybe have your bacon with your HP sauce.
Yeah, there's the tip.
There, and sausages and HP sauce. You'll never want a sausage again without HP.
Yeah. Bacon and sausage on sandwich with brown sauce. You will become addicted. There's a special organisation here to help you with that addiction.
We have weekly meetings.
Good night, Ollie. Take it easy, mate. Stay safe. Be good.
Fireworks are starting off again.
Yeah. Roots, take it easy, my friend. Sweet and sour bacon, sausage. Yeah. I'm not so keen on the sweet and sour myself, my friend.
No. I just
tends to play me old giblets up a little bit, but
I tend to. It's like mashed potato. Just calls out for HP sauce, and I just
Right, have a fantastic trip to Yorkshire, mate. Enjoy yourself. Have a great time up there.
Last few
jokes then, Martin. All right? Okay, what do you get when you drop a piano on the British Army or flat major?
Martin!
Take it easy, Roots Live. Bless you all, mate. Robert, thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you, Robert.
Hey, mate, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us
in the pub for the night.
Yeah, that's it.
I heard that.
You did hear that. I'm sorry, that was me. It's an age thing.
Poor dog.
Poor dog.
Gas, gas, gas.
Oh. Do you want me to get the respirator down for you?
No, it's all right.
That's all right. Well, all right. Well, it was a good night. I enjoyed that this evening. It was nice to hear from everybody. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Everybody seemed to enjoy themselves. Puppy didn't get too worried by the fireworks, which is okay.
He's just got a bit warm, that's why I put him on the floor.
Yeah. Well, he's getting there now. In another couple of weeks, he can have the run of the house.
Yeah.
Do his own thing. Mate, Martin, take it easy, mate. All love and all the best to your family, mate. Take it easy. Have an excellent week. And look forward to chatting to you very, very soon. Right, guys, that's us. We're out of here.
Okay.
As I always like to say, love those you do, forgive those you don't. Peace and light be upon you all. Have an excellent week. Stay safe, have fun, have your adventures, and I will catch you very, very soon.
See you in the pub next week.
All the best from me, Kaz, Willow, Mac, and Jason. Take care, guys. Peace and light out.